well, people can know we talked yesterday. We're recording back to back because I'm leaving again.
Yeah.
So Megan and I talked yesterday. But I have to tell you, I'm curious. So last night I get home. Rachel and I obviously had lots of catching up to do.
Mm-hmm.
She made stew for dinner.
Yes.
Which was lovely. And then Rachel and I always joke that everybody should have a wife because like having a wife is so great. So she was my wife last night. And then we watched Practical Magic.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
With Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman.
No, I've heard of it, but I've never watched it before.
We had never seen it.
Okay.
It came out in 1998, which is very apparent when you're watching it. And it's like, it's not scary because it's like, well, I got scared in a few places because I'm a big baby, but it was pretty good. I mean, it's bad.
Right.
But it was good.
Well, it's 1998.
Yes.
But that's
and
fun.
Rom-coms were all the rage, if you remember correctly. Like,
I remember.
There was like 10-year span, like our most formative years of romance expectations were during these rom-com movies.
Oh, they were so good.
When I was watching it last night, I'm like, no wonder I'm screwed, you know?
Right. Because Matthew McConaughey saves everybody.
Yes, or like in this movie last night, Sandra Bullock like sees this farmer, and first of all, I grew up in a city of farmers, and they do not look like that. But he's like a sexy farmer, and then she just like walks up to him and like kisses him, you know, like they don't even know each other's names.
Didn't Reese Witherspoon have like 5 movies where she was some like city girl and went back to her hometown and like it was somebody she went to high school with and they were like this hunky guy and they fell in love and I was like, I don't think that's real.
Oh my God, though, you want to know something funny? When you had your little mini Catholic Central High School reunion the other day.
Yeah.
And you sent me that photo of the group photo and I'm like looking at it. I'm like, who is this? Like there's one guy who's like really attractive.
Okay.
And I'm like, who is this? And I finally figured out it was Kyle. He's really bloomed into himself because I never thought he was that cute when we were in high school. You did. You dated him, didn't you?
Kind of. Whatever dating was in high school. Not really.
Yeah. Making on a pickup truck.
Yeah.
I do always think it's better to bloom later in life. I think the earlier you bloom, you know.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so today we are going to have a guest on. It's one of my favorite topics. I mean, this is one of my favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
You want to say who we have?
No, it's one of your favorite things. Go right ahead.
Well, we have a tarot card reader.
Yes.
And I read my own tarot cards often, like weekly.
So we could have just talked to you.
Well, I use ChatGPT to help me, so I'm not a professional by any means. But I'm obsessed with tarot cards, so I'm excited about this.
Yes, her name is Grace, and she has a company, a business?
Yeah.
Okay, Tarot D'Amour. And I actually worked with her last month at a wedding that wanted to have a tarot card reader at their wedding. And it was really fun because she came in after dinner and stayed for about 3 hours. We had a little sign-up sheet and people got their cards read. But I'm really excited to talk to her because I was busy. I really did not talk to her at all that night. I wasn't standing there listening to anything. I didn't talk to guests afterwards to see how it went. So I'm really interested to talk to her to actually like hear how it goes.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Well, here, without further ado, we will introduce Grace.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, Grace, I'm obsessed with your hair. So good.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for coming on at like the last minute.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm super pumped.
So I was telling Jen that we worked together last month, but we really didn't have a lot of time to actually connect and talk because I was so busy with the actual like wedding details that day. So I'm excited to talk to you today about just like you and, you know, Tarot D'Amour and everything. Because you've done other weddings before too, right?
That was my first wedding.
Cool.
Well, I've done lots of bachelorette parties, but never a full wedding like that, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start out by saying, so first of all, I'm a planner as well. I'm down in Chicago, and Megan and I have known each other since high school, and this is totally my jam. So I have been in. My mother took me to get my tarot cards read for the first time when I was probably like 8, and so I have been into it my whole life. And so I'm like, this is so fun. This is my. I'm so happy to have you on.
Thank you. Well, that's so cool. And have either of you seen my free stuff that I post on my Instagram or my YouTube?
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
I do weekly readings on Instagram, and then I do like planetary shift readings on YouTube, which are much longer and a little bit more deep, like spiritually.
Hmm.
But I try to keep the Instagram ones like, casual, light.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Thank
So
you
that
for
people
that.
actually want to listen to it and not get too.
It's I try to offer something free for everybody to access, and I'm doing this a lot. Maybe 3 to 4 times a week, I'm shooting a video, and it takes a couple hours and then you got
Yeah.
to upload it, and you got to mark it so that everyone knows where to go. And then I go and watch even my own, and I'm like, dang, what? I don't remember saying that.
Yeah.
So I really try to make it really good and
Yeah.
have everybody hear some positive things for once in
A
their life,
change.
for a
Yes.
change.
That's what
Yeah.
we need in the world.
That's great. How did
Yeah.
you tell us your origin story? Like
Yeah.
when did you first pick up a tarot deck? Why did you do it? Tell us how you became the superhero you are.
Well, I have a history of alcohol coming from Wisconsin, and I wanted to be the weirdo that read fortunes at the end of the bar when I was maybe 24, and that was 20 years ago. But I went to Barnes and Noble. I saw the Housewives Tarot deck, which is like a classic riff on the Rider Waite Tarot. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I told everyone their future? Then I'll be liked. Then I'll be the life of the party. Then I'll
Yeah.
be. And it's so crazy how that did manifest over 20 years. But I read the wrong way for like right away. That deck actually um, turned, something really crazy happened with that deck. One night I went to sleep at my usual 3 a.m. time. And I usually would wake up from the drinking adrenaline. I don't know if you know what that is, but your body wakes you up like in a panic, and you're like wide awake. Some
Hmm.
people call that the witching hour, but I don't know. I call it alcohol poisoning, maybe. Anyway,
It's
uh,
your liver like dying.
it's just my liver knocking, like, hey,
If I have to be awake, so do you, you know?
yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. Well, so I would ask the same question about the same stupid boy, and it would give me the same answers. And then one day the answers started to change when I started to change. But I read wrong for a good, I don't know, 3 to 5 months, and all wrong, like unprotected and completely. I shouldn't say all wrong. I read completely by a certain book, and it helped me develop a routine. And it was a Christian who wrote it. So I was raised Roman Catholic in the Opus
Same.
Dei. Yeah, that was something.
I'm a recovering Catholic, is what I say.
Yeah. Well, and also, I have love for it as well,
Hmm.
because it gave me a good education. It brought me into a lot of, my spirituality and the feminine. So Catholics, worship Mary apparently, but anyways, that actually is part of my background. So
Mhm.
I've decided to be proud of it and include it, and did what I could with it. Anyways, the beginnings were me asking the wrong question about the same boy over and over and over, and then I wake up one day after 2 hours, 2.5 hours of sleep of alcohol induced coma, that my cards were, can't make this up, moldy. They were just disgusting. So I opened my little gold scarf because it was a gold, it had to be a gold silk scarf, right? And it had to be facing north, and you had to, do it all the right way. I was doing it all the right way, but all the wrong way energetically. And so when I woke up and I saw that, I kind of freaked out. And I was given a deck by the person who showed me astrology. And I had been reading astrology for probably about 7 or 8 years before that. And I went to them with great concern that I can't make this up. This is moldy. And like immediately I woke them up. And we had a little burn ritual because we burned that deck. And then they gave me a gifted deck, which, hey, if you're meant to be gifted a tarot deck, it's going to happen. Don't wait if you want to read tarot, to be gifted a deck. That's like a misnomer, but
What does
it
that
is
mean? What
nice.
does misnomer mean?
It's a fairy tale. It's a
Oh.
um, yeah, like that's something that people say. That's not
That's not
necessarily
true.
true. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. But the point of that is that it comes to you. And if you're seeking it, maybe
Mhm.
it is still for you. Like sometimes we seek the things that are for us, We're not always wrong or egoic. But I was a very egoic person and still am, and I embrace that actually. I hope people don't take that the wrong way. I think that your ego includes your superconscious. So you keep trying, you manifest that wonderful word, and that's what happened. I manifested that very day one, and now I am living that. However, I am dry, and I'm also um, much better at the cards. But I look back at my little diary. I would write down exactly what I read, all the cards, and it would take me a long time. And then I went back and I looked over the cards now without looking at what I wrote, and said these were the events. I remember reading those cards, and then calling the events and then saying that's crazy, like when it happens to yourself. So it took me about 10 years to start reading for other people, and to come out of the tarot closet, which was even more scary than the gay closet. So I'm a queer reader, I'm a non-binary, and the tarot closet severed probably 80% of my family off of me,
Wow.
which
Mm.
is a lot of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, and not in a bad way. Like we still love, but it's a little bit strained, I guess, or it's a little uncomfortable. But now I think everybody accepts that this is what I do, and
Hmm.
thank you for sharing, for letting me share that. I don't really talk about it too much.
Yeah, no, I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's
Mhm.
it's so interesting to me. I was raised Catholic as well, but my mother was very spiritual, and so she was open to a lot of things. So I feel very lucky that I was opened up to it early. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot around like, oh, it's the devil or demons can talk to you, which like obviously everyone. I think it comes down to the how you practice and what you believe.
Tell me a spiritual belief, and I'm like, that's true. Because why would anything be false? If someone's talking to you about their spirituality, believe them, no matter what they're saying. Like, say, that's also true. Everything is true when you think about it spiritually.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah, I actually read just for myself. I don't read for other people. That's too much pressure for me. I'm like, I'm good. I'll just take what messages I get for myself. But
It gets scary when you put money on it. You're like, How this
Yeah.
works.
So tell us about your business then. So like you said you started reading for other people, but when you just started, you were just doing it casually at a bar. So then you decided I'm going to try to, make money doing this. How did that transition work?
I was asked by another reader,
Okay.
and they said, "So you're off book?" I said, "Yeah, I don't need the book." And they was like, "And you read reversals?" I'm like, "Yeah, I read reversals." They said, "Why aren't you reading for money?" I was like, didn't it make sense to them because
Yeah.
they had been reading for some time already, and people will hop into the reading for others really fast sometimes, and I was just a slow learner maybe, or slow to learn my intuition, and I'm still kind of slow at it sometimes. But yeah, it was cool. Like I just got invited to read at the it's closed now, the cider place down in the Fifth Ward,
Mhm.
and there was a line out the door, and there was like three or four readers there, and I was one of the readers, and I made my first night happen, and I was like, yeah, this is for me.
Yeah.
This is what I like. And during the pandemic, um, everybody wanted a reading. So I went online a lot, and I made more money at reading during the pandemic than I was making at my job, thinking this is definitely going to work. And
Mhm.
then now I know I quit my job 3 years ago, and I've been able to make it, but it's been tough. Like readers are many, first of
Mhm.
all, and to last long, it's like they people figure I'm fine, probably. Like, oh, she's been around forever, she's fine, but that's not always the case, and sometimes you have to drive your car around for deliveries, or make ends meet in other ways, take a loan, whatever it is, and you just keep going. So
Mhm.
at this point, I feel really like loved and honored that I get to do these like higher profile type things like weddings and podcasts. So it's such a gift. It strikes me as just such like, oh, that's me. Like, oh wow, okay. Well, I better get dressed. Like,
Us too.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, what are some of your what was it? Like I was trying to think like what are some of your favorite ways to read? Like do you like when it's a big group? Like a wedding to me is like a group, or going down to the cider place it's a group. And I know that for when you did the wedding for me, we had 10-minute increments, right? Where
Yeah.
everybody got 10 minutes. So do you like to do that, or do you like it when it's more of a personal, one-on-one thing and you have longer with somebody?
My favorite ultimate way is to be fully in myself, meaning I'm fully okay and taken care of.
Mhm.
And then I love making people laugh with it. And when I'm in my spot on zone, I love hecklers and um, skeptics and people who just don't believe it. Those are my favorite people to like get, like
Mhm.
I say, well, come on, well, if you know so much, let me just share it with you. And I've seen full men just cry laughing because I'm calling, and they're surrounded by all their best friends laughing because I'm calling them for filth, and it's just the best feeling in the world. But I would say that has happened on a rare occasion. Most of the time, honestly, my readings are to get women out of abusive situations, to protect people who are um, maybe in the closet, or maybe are experiencing xenophobia, homophobia, racist things. Like anything that keeps you apart from the rest of society moving along. And I try to help incorporate people in a way that's non-capitalistic, but also helps me to thrive and live so that I can help other people keep manifesting.
Mhm.
So it's been an interesting journey that way. Very interesting manifestations are happening.
Yeah.
How about you, Megan? What's your birthday?
December 13th.
Oh, nice. So it's Sagittarius. I didn't
Yeah.
know this about you.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, fire sister. And Jen, when is yours? It's so nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I'm a Virgo, September 15th.
Oh, nice.
Hmm.
So this, you must get a lot done, you two.
We try.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we've had fun
Well, that's
doing the
awesome.
podcast. It's been about a year now, almost, right, Jen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
When's your birthday?
Oh, I'm just your local Leo,
Ah,
August 4th.
I'm a Leo moon, so
Are you?
yeah.
Oh, excellent. I'm a Venus
Me
Virgo,
too.
and I have a ridiculous Neptune in Saturn or in Sagittarius.
Okay. Yeah.
So my dreams are they're pretty much you can't reach them. They're just ever expansive.
I have a Libra trine and a Capricorn trine, so it's or stellium, two
Oh yeah.
stelliums. Yeah. So that's
Hey.
yeah, it was funny. I always connected with the Libra. And I
Yeah.
saw something once that was like, why do all Capricorns, when they are done with something, it's like they've never existed? They like cut them out and move on. I'm like, I do that. And then I looked at my chart and I'm like, oh, yeah, I have a lot of Capricorn in my chart. So,
Yeah, isn't that wild? I'm a
yeah.
Cap rising, so people process me as a Capricorn when they meet me
Yeah.
most of the time. And I mean, not lately. I'm just this wild Leo girl, but I'm like look like I play in the sandbox all day, which is pretty much
Yeah.
true. But yeah, I think that Capricorn has it's a rough gig. What's your rising sign? Because that's how people treat you.
Libra.
Libra, you're right. Oh gosh, okay.
And that works really well.
And you're not very diplomatic, are you, as a Virgo?
It works very well in my career, like,
Yes.
because I can be a chameleon. I'm like, as a Libra, I'm like, what do I need to be in this environment? And I can do it. So that helps a lot. But yeah,
And Megan, what's your rising?
I have no idea.
she won't let me do her birth chart. So
No, I just have
Oh,
no idea. I would have to it's based on your time that you're born,
and
right? Yeah, I don't even
and
know. I'd have to go
location.
look at.
you have to
Oh,
go dig up your birth certificate,
mm-hmm.
call your mom or something.
It's
Yeah,
downstairs. I just, yeah,
yeah.
have to find
Every time I meet a new guy, I'm like, what time were you born and where?
it.
I need to know your birth chart.
I had that trick for a long time, and then I think they started to catch on
Hmm.
to it.
Oh, that's funny.
I like that men are getting readings. I really do.
Yeah, I like when they're curious about it. It's nice. It's refreshing.
Yeah.
Well, and I think in those open settings, like when you go and you do something at a brewery or whatever, I think that invites more people who wouldn't normally get a reading to do it because they're in a very comfortable situation with other people.
Yeah, I've decided to sort of, unless I'm like surrounded by people who get it, which happens.
Hmm.
There are people who I'm surrounded by readers, so I can like dress up and play and have fun with it. But for the most part, I try to appear like your neighbor, just like a regular person, and because it's approachable.
Hmm.
And I think that I've read for mostly people who have never gotten a reading before.
Okay.
So, and it's not always like, oh my God, 100, it's not like that. People, you look at them dead in the eye and you'll tell them, like, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
This is hilarious. I said, oh, you're a cook. You do something with love. Are you a cook or a baker? And I said, neither. I don't bake. First of all, I never bake and I don't cook. And I was like, I literally smell spaghetti. Like I smell pasta. So what are you talking about? And I'm like, okay, I'm making this up then. Now I'm this sham reader. And they look at me and they go, Well, I mean, like I've been making lasagna for, and then I like started a 501(c)(3) that gives away lasagna with love, but that's not making me, I'm like, I literally said that you're a cook and it's with love. Like, how much more on the spot could I be? But I think people actually like have a deep desire to want me to be wrong
Hmm.
about stuff, or they want to negate the reading, and that's a human, like, that is definitely a human nature thing. Like I don't try to fight people who are fighting me. I try to ask them about themselves and say, like, oh, something that re-engages them in the reading is, oh, what do you love? So authenticity, they've found, is like 40 times more powerful of a resonance in sound wave than love is,
Mm.
in energy waves, I'm sorry. And I'm really in search of authentic people all the
Hmm.
time, and I'm trying to my best to be authentic.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's a tricky business, man. It's
Is that hard for you when you're doing a reading for somebody and like in your gut, you know that you're right and they're trying to tell
I
you that you're
mean,
not? Or are you used to it?
It
honestly,
happens to us all the
I
time
used to get,
as
yeah,
planners.
oh, I'm
Yeah,
sure that you're like, you know what you're doing, and then they're like, no, I want it done this way, and you're like, that's what I
exactly.
said. Like that, literally just said that. Um, I think that it comes down to understanding that each person is in their own world at all times, and to be self-aware of your own world and then have a awareness beyond that is like really tricky nowadays. So I try to keep people aware of themselves and patient. I have just more and more patience, but I used to call people out like real hard. I used to be real mean, and I would just be like, this is the thing, this is what you need to know, this. And I don't think people can handle that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't, honestly, people, there's some people who say, give it to me. And then you're like, no, you're not ready to hear that. So, and a lot of times readings, I'll just read exactly what they want to hear and then give a little tiny spritz of lemon on it at the end. And they'll be like, well, you said this one little thing. And I'm like, that's all you were ready to hear. Do you want to hear what was going on underneath everything that I said? Because I knew everything. Like, I
Hmm.
didn't tell you, but here's what I knew. And I wrote it down. Here, I'll pull it out. And like, so there's things that you have to understand as the reader, that um, some people just aren't ready for the truth. And a lot of people, a lot of readers claim I don't sugarcoat, but I'm also not a reader that is trying to manifest this shitty outcome.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And I'm also not trying to be hard on you. I'm not trying to, like, force things or be mean or cruel.
Right.
And I think a lot of times readers are so proud they made someone cry, or it's
Oh.
like, yeah, it's a true thing. It's like out there. There's memes about it. And
Mm.
it's, yeah, like that. It's that when you hit the nerve and you're like, that's not, that's not kind,
Hmm.
So I learned from a fellow reader to be gentle a long time ago. And she gave me a really gentle reading. And I was like, we've been telling ourselves not to listen to this kind of voice, but I really, I tuned into it, and it helped me through a lot of stuff. Now, do you need some tough love sometimes? Sure. But is that worth the cost of a reading? Is that worth the cost of a potential friend? Or like, is that worth maybe ruining someone's mindset? No.
Hmm.
Hmm.
No.
I always think it's interesting, like what you were saying earlier about the guy, and you kept getting the same reading over and over again, because it's how I use the readings for myself. Like sometimes I go in and I'm like, I don't want to talk about this, I don't want to talk about this. I want to talk about this, but whatever the tarot needs to tell me, it's going to do it. So then all of a sudden I'm like, why are we here? I don't want to talk about this anymore. But a lot of it is like, it's to me, I look at it as guidance of like, on my journey, this is the next thing I need to clear, or the next thing I need to, like, be focusing on, to get to the next thing. And it's sometimes you're just like, can we just talk about something else, please?
So, you know how we all have these wonderful addictions? One of mine is decks. And I don't have too many. I mean, for a reader, I only have like maybe 20, and I use about 14 of them. But each deck has a personality. So this
Yes.
deck, I don't even know what this deck is called. It's a nature driven deck, and has this beautiful book with the explanations of some of these animals I don't know. But I think I learned what a tartar bug or tartarus. It's like a little indestructible bug.
Hmm.
It's microscopic, but it's cute.
Okay.
Like you can boil it and it won't die.
Hmm.
Anyways, so it's the Seven of Wands, and it's like this like soldier bug,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this honestly has nature in
Mm-hmm.
it, but to me, I read it and I'm like, it's my inner child. It's my nature. It's my nature to read
Mm-hmm.
this when my inner child is crying out. Inner child is screaming for help with this one. This is a circle deck. I use it for all energies. This is a general deck. I use specific decks. I have them all packed away right now because I'm hopefully getting outside with them. But I have a deck that talks about your authentic self. I have a deck that talks about um, work, with financial and work alone. I have a deck that talks about friends. I have several love decks that only talk about love and types of love um, within relationships,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
polyamory, gay love, like any kind of love, family love. I have a family deck. So I have a specific, and it takes a while to get to know your decks, but you can do a reading that says, hey, I'm going to introduce myself to you. What are you going to help me with this deck? You can speak to your decks and they will tell you.
Cool.
They will tell you. You can literally pull a card that says, okay, this is what this deck helps with.
I named my deck, and
Yeah,
sometimes
okay.
like when I do my readings, I like talk to her. It's like having a conversation with her. I'm like, this is like that's how I interpret it.
That's the first step of magic, is to name inanimate objects.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
You're getting witchy,
I'm
Jen.
trying.
Yeah. Did you know that?
Yeah, I mean, I did know that actually.
Give them personalities, and it's not just
Hmm.
it's got meaning. It has energy to it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I do believe in all of that. So, yeah.
Great. I'm not a believer much of anything, but I believe you when you tell me. I believe everybody.
I appreciate that because I think everybody's spiritual practice is their own, you know? I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
my spirituality is mine and mine alone, so
For sure.
it's just how I go about my life. Like you said, it's my world. I've created my own world.
I really get a little I really get a little glimpse of what universe might feel like with humans, just a glimpse occasionally. That sounds really terrible because it sounds like I'm trying to play God or something, but I think there's a very, very thin line between wisdom and the other.
Hmm.
And the other can be anything. It can be um, people who don't know they're dead. It can be animals who have passed away, or plant spirits. It can be ancestors in your bloodline, ancestors of people that family and friends that have passed away. It can be guides, people that you don't know that passed away, but you'd like to be like them. It could be angels. Angels can have dark energy, they can have light energy. And then there can be gods and goddesses. And then there can be the big they, the big universe part that kind of envelops all of it. And really, honestly, I don't think the big they, like, it's all and nothing at the same time, right? I don't think it gives its shit about you, but at the same time, it says yes to everything you say. So I always try to look at these readings as whatever comes out of my mouth, the universe is going to say yes to. And I have to be very careful with that
Mm-hmm.
and teach people how to talk. And I have to watch that myself. Like,
It's interesting that you say that because I actually was just with a friend of mine who is Christian, we have great conversations because we find the similarities between our beliefs. We call things different things, but they have similar
Yeah,
meanings.
right.
But one of the Bible, I don't know, she was like quoting the Bible, and there's something where like she's like, well, demons can't hear your thoughts, but they can hear when you speak. So you have to be careful what you say. And even though I don't believe, like, I personally don't think a demon is waiting to hear what I say, but I believe that words are magic. So anything you say, it's like, be careful what you wish for, be careful what you say, be careful how you're speaking, because whatever it is going to hear you. So I thought that was interesting.
I believe it. I also believe your friend too.
Sure, sure.
I have experiences with lots of demons, and I have a lot of demons, and everyone does. Um, it just you treat them like your puppies, you know, like you treat them like your little pets. Like, okay, are you satisfied?
Yeah.
Good, sit there. Like
Yeah.
I'm done with you today, and I'm very impatient with my demons, and I they hate self-care. They hate when you have discipline. They hate when you're doing well. They want you to pay attention to them and tell these trauma stories. And um, I know several of mine. I've met several. I've been lucky enough to go under in hypnotherapy quite a few times, and I don't go into my trauma much. I go into a lot of past lives and some future lives, which is really creepy, you guys. But
I've never done that. I've
ooh,
done a past life regression.
yeah,
Yeah, it was really cool.
And what did they say? Are you willing to share?
It was emotional.
it's emotional.
Well, the one I did, like, I went into my most recent past
Oh,
life, and you like walk through your whole life, like it's like watching a movie. It's like
wow.
clips of it, and you're like half. I mean, you're under hypnosis, but I had like emotional reaction. So like in my dream, I was a man, and I watched my wife get hit by a car and die.
Oh,
And then I had 3 kids. I was a widow, and I had 3 sons. And I like went through the whole lifespan of this man.
Wow.
And then at the end, she asked my higher self, like, why that was the life I went back to. And then, like, I was talking, like, I was like I was talking about me in third person. Like, I was like, Jen needed to know, blah, blah, blah. It was weird,
that is
but
weird.
it's very cool.
Did they videotape you?
That was your higher self speaking. That's amazing.
So it's video. It's not videoed, it's just a recording. But I haven't listened to it again because it was like
Mm,
it was a lot.
yeah.
I have a 3.5 hour recording of one of mine, and I was just under. I'm really easy to hypnotize because I just go with it. And then I called a reader that I would meet by a very odd way of saying it, but I decided to listen to this subconscious thing while I was driving to New Orleans.
Oh, best city in the world.
And then I met the person that I was talking about in my hypnosis
Wow.
session, and it was really odd.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
It
weird.
was really odd, and I was like, well, leave it to New Orleans to like
I love New Orleans.
weave you with that kind of a story. I love New Orleans too.
Yeah. I had a reader once tell me that because I've been to New Orleans 9 times, and she said that every time I go there I'm like reborn.
All right.
And she said that all of the New Orleans demons, or the more negative spirits, they don't like when I come, they're like they leave me alone. Like they know that I'm not coming to like do anything to them. So they just like tip their hat to me as I walk by. And I was like, okay, good. I like to know that. Like I don't want to bring any of them back with me.
So you're not messing with them either. You're not going and getting spells and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And
No. No.
they're some of them are looking to get out of there. So you never know what you're gonna catch. They're like
Yeah.
they're like little sicknesses. It's like you can see and feel them, but if you're protected, you're protected. So
Okay, I have a question for you.
sure.
Yesterday, Megan and I were recording another episode, and we were just chitty chatting like we're doing right now. And above her, like right shoulder, we both saw this orb appear. An orb appeared. It was like above her shoulder for like maybe 5 seconds, 6 seconds, long enough.
Mhm.
And then it went,
And then it,
it was weird. It was weird.
do you think it was a spirit? What do you think it was?
Um,
Dust.
unexplained light. You know, if you're you can't get all of that analyzed
I know.
and looked at by professionals, but I definitely process those things in the moment. So those types of moments happen pretty much 24/7 to me. Like I see a lot of stuff and I'm like, okay. And it's only because I'm open to it happening. Like I'm open to it happening and being like, I'm safe, I'm good, I'm secure. Um, Orbs, if you see them and you want to go in that direction, or if you keep seeing it, like let's say it just keeps happening. Um,
Can you see auras?
I That's what it started with when I was a
Oh,
kid.
really? Interesting.
Yeah.
I came home and I told my mom that my first grade teacher was blue, and she was like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah.
Like she's blue, like her head is blue, and she's like, "What do you mean she's blue?" Like she's blue. Like I don't understand, but you don't see that, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
So can you turn that off? Step away from that?
I think that these things happen to you as a
Mhm.
child, everybody, not just me. And that you're told, no, that's not real, that's dumb, that's stupid, that's fake, that's scary, that's whatever. And then you believe that the rest of your life, and it's about belief. So believing is that's a very strong word. Should is a very strong word, but belief is not something that I really have a lot of
Mhm.
stock in, except for like gravity and
Sure.
the laws of nature, like belief.
Mm-hmm.
Sacred geometry, I believe that exists and that's real. But like, I don't say I believe tarot. I don't say I believe anything because it's all possible. The reality that we can grasp with our senses is only like a fraction of a percent
Mhm.
of
Yep.
reality of what it really is. And we know this. It's like, well, why wouldn't you believe somebody who says they've gone outside of that perception?
Yeah, I think that's so true. I mean,
I mean, just the other day, these buns flew across my kitchen, and I was like,
that I can't do.
"What's up? Who's
Yeah.
here?" Yeah, I was like, "Hey, what's up? What do you want?"
Yeah.
It's
Mm-mm.
I was like, "What's up, guys?" And not just like fell, flew.
Yeah.
Oh my
And I was
gosh.
coming into the kitchen, and I saw them fly off. I was like, "That's hilarious! Who's doing this, Grandma?"
We have a ghost in our place, but it just talks to us through lights. But one
Oh yeah.
night Rachel and I could both smell a burning smell, and we couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And I was like in her room, and we kept like leaving her room to try to figure, when you're like trying to figure out where a smell's coming from. And all of a sudden from behind me, like there was a knock, like a little tap on the wall.
Oh.
And I turned to look, and it was the lamp smoking. So that was the only time that he was technically still through the lamp, like the lamp was on fire, but like he just talks to us through our lights, like flickering and stuff like that. It's really interesting.
That's a common way is electricity. You can have them in these little devices. You can,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't do anything. They can't. You know that show that's on, unfortunately, the Paramount Network, which I won't buy, but it's called Ghosts, and it's so crazy how I'm like, okay, how is this like pretty accurate? Like, how does the whole world know
Mm.
that these experiences are like the same
Okay.
for everybody? Like you go, I've been to several teen countries, like 18 countries, and
Mhm.
I, like you said about your Christian friend, everybody's the same. They're
Yeah.
just saying the same thing with different things and different belief
Mhm.
systems around those things, and
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
all about that. It's all about your ancestors, and it's all about where you're coming from and where you're going.
Totally.
Mhm.
I have an astrologist, and it was just my birthday. I had an
Happy
thanks.
birthday!
So I had an my like a solar return reading.
Oh, nice.
2 weeks prior to that, I did a feng shui reading because I wanted to. She's also just like an intuitive, And both her and my astrologist told me that my ancestors are all very close to me right now. Like
Oh
they're
yeah.
all here. And I was like, what does that mean? And they were like, you have to figure that out. We don't know. And I was just like,
I don't know if you know, but you already said it like several times.
I did.
Well, you're like, well, the demons don't come to me, and
Oh yeah.
yeah. So you surround. So put it together now. You're
Mm.
surrounded by ancestors.
Yeah.
The demons don't bother you.
No.
The spirits in New Orleans didn't bother you.
Mm-mm.
Okay. What does that mean?
That I'm protected?
Yeah. Like that they bypass you because they're like, well, we're not going to try on her because
Yeah.
it's not a worthy investment for us to like try to get at her. But
Yeah.
once in a while you entertain them, and
And I pay the price.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it means to be human, though.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is fun.
Yeah. Let's talk about tarot.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you because I want people, when they listen to this to be able to reach out to you if they're interested in, booking you or getting a reading. And when I first reached out to you for the wedding, you sent me a whole list of like different things that you could do at the wedding. And so do you want to talk a little bit about, different, I don't even know the correct terminology, like different ways that you can help people through, what you do?
I'm an improviser, first of all.
Okay, great.
I'll do I'll do straight up tarot readings. That's fine.
Mhm.
Honestly, some people are like looking for me to change their whole life with a 3 card reading, and I'm like, wow, okay.
Ooh, no pressure.
And it's a lot of pressure to like, perform, but I try to stay humble. So I do a
Mhm.
lot of 3 card, 10-minute reads like we did at the wedding. That's a pretty common thing. I also do like group tarot. I'll do paid for you can pay by the minute um, in the group settings, but that means that I have a limited amount of me for thousands of people and or hundreds of people maybe, and
Mhm.
that means that you have to be charged more. So there's a thing of energy give and take going on here. If I do a group, I like that because if you all bring your own deck, we can read your cards and I can help you through it. And we can knock out a group in 2 hours. We
Mhm.
can knock out like 15 plus people in 2 hours and they get their own reading and it's
Mhm.
verified, but they did it themselves as well and everybody's learning. So that's my favorite. I do like to do group sessions. Um, I do mediumship. I'm doing a mediumship session at Can on October 28th, if you want to meet me up there. I've helped people transition into the next life. I've helped like a death doula. I've helped people birth. I've helped people give birth. I've helped people get married. I've helped people many, many, many people get divorced. Um, just not my favorite.
Yeah, I'm in that club.
I'm sorry.
Where were you 5 years ago? I needed you. No, so you just like are you're like a literal life coach, not one of those like
Like I've lived a lot of it. Yeah.
yeah, you're like a life journey coach, which is very important to have.
I'm your journey friend. That would be a great way to say it. I think that
Mhm.
it's hard for me to make friends um, with what I do.
Mhm.
It's hard to have peers
Mhm.
because there are so few people that are like totally, that are lived experiences. And
Mhm.
but I find them, and you'd be amazed how your life takes you to the people that are meant for you. You just got to ask.
I actually
Ask
think
your
that's a
ancestors.
beautiful thing about aging. I think you start to realize that where you're spending your energy and who you're investing your energy in matters, and that you
Mhm.
have to make sure that that energy is reciprocated in some ways, and you're not just like depleting yourself
Yeah.
to be loved, like please love me, and it can seem a little lonely at first, but as soon as you start to really connect then with the people you're supposed to be connected with, it's a really magical thing. So but it's hard.
I also try to encourage people to thank their past selves for where they are
Mhm.
now. Even if they're not proud of it, to thank them. To think that even when I was drinking like that, I also thank my Capricorn rising self that
Mhm.
insisted that I have a high masking, high
Mhm.
performance type of job to cover all of that, and
Mhm.
like make sure that it looked like I was a certain way, and it
Mhm.
provided for me. And I was frantic when I was
Mhm.
young, and now I get to be less frantic.
Yeah. No, actually, Megan and I just had a moment. She helped me with some big events this past summer, and I was talking about how, like, with my career, I'm like, I got to this point with my career and I was miserable and I burned
Mhm.
everything down to the ground and now here I am. And she was like, "No, you had to get to that point to get to this point. Like
Yeah,
your past self had to burn out. Your past self had to, to get to the next summit, right?"
Mhm.
And so
yeah.
it's so true. It's like every version of yourself is a gift.
The high priestess descends the stairs into Hades and recovers her lover and brings him back. And everything I experience in my life is a bit of high priestess, like what you just said. So you have to go see for yourself a lot of times. You have to go into the depths and then bring back the proof or the evidence or the love or the whatever you're trying to go
Mm-hmm.
retrieve. And to come back alive after that stuff is just, I think it's amazing. And then to see what you can make out of it and go into the Empress, which is the next step, you bring it to fruition. So when you're seeking or searching, don't be afraid of the dark, and don't be afraid. You are protected. So, and that's been established. But I think that that high priestess, when she retrieves what she's looking for, she comes back and she tells people, and sometimes people believe her, and sometimes people call her a witch, or they call her crazy, or and that's okay. There's a lot of people that do that. Men do it, children do it, old people do it. Here's the thing: the high priestess. I was been looking for her. The high priestess always
Mm-hmm.
comes back. She always comes back, and she always comes back to reality. And so, like, when you're, and you just know that when your life, sometimes it feels like it's thinning out. You ever feel like when you're really close to the veil, where you're like, I destroyed my whole life? It can always go deeper than
Mm-hmm.
that. But I think that she gives us, the high priestess, the feminine gives us the energy and the direction and the knowledge that we didn't have to learn from a book. And it is that she gives us that, like, well, okay, like, there was one time in my life where I started to pray for death, where I was like, please make this stop. I don't want to do this anymore. And it wasn't anyone's fault. It was just, I'm tired. I've done what I want to do. If it's my time, it's my time. And they said, okay, here's an opportunity to go if you want to. And then I didn't choose it. And I was like, that was awful. Why would I wish that upon myself? Right. And I thought, well, everybody must go through that choosing in anything. You have to choose to live. You have to choose to eat. You have to choose to mate. You have to choose to dance or sing or whatever you're going to choose. And sometimes going through that rock bottom, quote unquote, it helps you get out of that. It helps you see what's there. Some of us cannot learn without seeing it, which I am.
Unfortunately, me.
Yeah. I am not a person who learns from others.
No, me either. I also always know that I'm one of the people that has to go through everything so that I can then lead other people through it. And I'm so tired of that sometimes, I'm like, I don't want to lead anymore. I just,
Yeah, you can accept that if you want to.
I can.
You can accept that
Yeah.
and move into the Empress and say, you know what? Now I'm the mama.
Yeah.
Now people come to me. Now
Yeah.
I have that energy. I have that knowledge. Thank you so much. And I will be helping people if I can. But you can only show them the map and you can't make them do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Free will is another big part of tarot. My Grace, my reading was accurate until this, and it was like, well, what did you choose?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The messages were there. Did I help you? Probably.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I helped you evade a negative consequence or something that doesn't feel good, or because you may have known already then, because I'm just reading what you know when I'm reading your cards.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I always think of it as like it's like external. You know how sometimes you hear something from people you love all the time and you're like, yeah, 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 and then a stranger tells you the same thing and you're like, yes, that's exactly it. I always think tarot is sometimes it's like me talking to myself. Like I know it already, and I'm like, whatever, whatever. And then I do a tarot reading and I'm like, yeah, exactly that. Okay, I need to do that. Like, even though I already knew it, right? Like, it's like this other thing being like, here's what you need to know and do. And
That's
I'm
my
like,
favorite is the confirmation. And when you have a group of besties and then you get someone who's really, really in their 3D, like everything is perfect here in 3D land and they're not coming out anytime soon. Their besties will be like totally happening. Like their besties will be like, oh yeah, that's their story. And they'll be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And so
yeah.
like that's like confirmation from your bestie is like, yeah, that's you though, hon. Yeah, that's why we need to do readings on each other and go with our friends to get readings and have an adult there because sometimes it's not something that we're able to do by ourselves.
So, do you have a favorite card that when it gets pulled for anybody, you're like excited to see it?
Well, any tarot enthusiast will say that's the sun,
Okay,
but I'm a Leo, so I get to say that with full of enthusiasm and knowledge.
got it.
Um, I get excited for certain like smaller cards. Um, I like. It's funny because the Five of Swords has such a bad rap, but I like when I get it reversed.
Mm.
I like when I get it reversed because that means that you let go of your ego and you said, I'm not trying to win. Like
Hmm.
you can go ahead with that. And you're giving it to God and you're saying, okay, well, whatever happens, happens. And it's not my place.
Mm-hmm.
And that always is like, yes, like I'm rooting for you when you get the Five of Swords reversed. Cause I'm like, you're not gonna like, you're not gonna go into that barbaric need to be right thing, and like,
Mm-hmm.
and then self-sabotage yourself by being right. It's such a weird
Mhm.
thing. And then I like increasingly, gosh, there's so many cards that I like. I like the Two of Cups,
Me too.
and not just because it's love. I like it because it in business. It's like, oh, if I'm doing a business reading, I get the Two of Cups. I'm like, yes, that's such a great thing. It just depends on what aspect you're talking about. The sun always brings the best out of everybody and everything all the time. It can't go wrong. The only times the sun goes wrong is if it's too bright, too hot, or you're exposed too long to it. You do have to do everything with a grain of salt. Not any card is perfect. Sometimes I like getting the devil,
Mhm.
because, well, not in Leo readings, because I'm really sick of the devil in Leo readings because it's always trying to get us, It's like, well, how do I mess with Leo? Like,
Yeah.
how can I mess with Leo, the sun? How can I mess with them? They have it all. Let's mess with them. And it's like, really?
Mhm.
I don't want to see that devil anymore for Leo. But for a let's say a super um tightly wound, what sign should I pick?
Taurus.
Aquarius man
Oh yeah.
or Taurus, yes. For a super conservative or somebody who's always right, a Capricorn. Oh, a Capricorn. But they get the devil and I'm like, Capricorn, that's your guy. That's your buddy. Because you've been too good. Now you need to let it loose because otherwise you're gonna pop a blood blister or something in your eye. Like, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I do like to see the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Coins. One time I called that for a bride at a bridal shower. Those two cards are like, I mean, I'm gonna stop the reading because like you're a bride and I'm getting the Ten of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. Like that's the happy family. the longevity, the long-term future. You're never getting divorced. You're always going to be there. Like, this is a true marriage. And it was like everyone in the room, not a dry eye in the room. Until
Mm.
then I started calling everyone else's readings, and it was normal. They're like, I was like, yeah, I'm not just like making
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was honestly for this person.
Yeah.
But I do like the good cards, but I also enjoy sometimes indulging in the cards that are kind of negative. Um, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
All right. So I guess, to wrap it up, since we've kept you for a really long time,
Yeah, I was like, this will be a long episode. I love it.
how is the best way to get in touch with you if somebody wants to reach out to book you?
Watch my Instagram, Tarot Damore, TAROTDAMORE. You
Okay.
can also hit me up at tarotdamore.com. And then I have a YouTube channel, again, Tarot Damore, 1700, all one word.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on Facebook. So come and find me. I'm out there.
Awesome. Do you have any events coming up that people should know about that are like public things or not right now?
I have a big grand opening on the 31st, which is Halloween, for Grimoire Girls, which is the circle that I go to pretty often. I would say that they're pretty sweet people in there, and I really like. I don't know, it just kind of instantly worked out,
Mm-hmm.
the connection. What else? Oh, I'm doing my mediumship circle at Canai on October 28th. So that'll be fun. And you just bring your own self. You just bring you. If you have a deck of cards, bring those. If you have a pendulum, bring that. But just bring you, and maybe we'll pick you, or maybe we'll hear your spirits, and we'll talk to them for you. And we'll teach you how to talk to them.
Fun.
That's awesome. Well, it was
Yeah.
awesome meeting you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Megan. This is super fun. I'm so grateful.
Us too.
Us too. Us too.
Thanks so much for joining us again this week. If you have a wedding or travel related story of your own that you would like us to share in a future episode, send us an email to theplannerspassport@gmail.com.
And be sure to follow us on Instagram at The Planner's Passport, and follow all of our travel and wedding businesses, including We Roam Solo, Dare to Dream Travel, and Dare to Dream Weddings. And please, if you enjoy our show, remember to rate, review, and subscribe from wherever you are listening to this podcast.